Floyd spends money like it's a tap, like he's got a tap, just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever, there's all these lawsuits. Like he hasn't been paying things and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
He have it, but he really don't have that spark like how he was when like he was in it, you know? Like him going back and stuff like that. I think that shit fucked him up.
Whatever could happen, the guy gets beat up by Manny Pacquiao, right? It creates a tough situation. I felt like that was the bigger story. But is Floyd broke? What a stupid question. Are you a stupid person? Of course he's broke. He's a boxer.
Joe Rogan talks with Gervonta Davis about a possible rematch between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao. Tank says many fights today are mostly about making money instead of helping boxing grow and improve.
Like, well, the industry, bro, is just like, it's trash, bro. It's a whole bunch of...
Joe Rogan praises Floyd Mayweather Jr. for staying active, fast, and disciplined.
Never puts any in his body. And also that mindset of what he learned when he was incarcerated.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. stays competitive by avoiding unhealthy habits and keeping strict discipline, which helps him keep his speed, stamina, and quick reflexes even after retirement.
Discipline is everything. Discipline, knowing you're never going back to that. Don't buy anything stupid. Don't be dumb with your money. Don't be dumb with your body. Take care of yourself. Never get out of shape. Always keep your conditioning up. So when you go into camp, you're not struggling to get back in shape again. You're already in shape. Now you're just working on your skills and honing everything to a razor sharp hit.
Max Kellerman says Floyd Mayweather Jr. still has great defense and speed, and he believes a fight with Manny Pacquiao could be exciting.
No. I think I would have always favored Mayweather to win the fight. The point is that because it happened after its expiration date, we will never have the actual answer. You and I might agree, Mayweather was too long, too good a boxer, naturally bigger guy and better defense. But we will never actually know the answer to that question because we never got to see it 5 years earlier. Now, Shady makes the point, Malik, that this is not like Crawford-Canelo, and it's not. Right. But it's also not exactly like Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
It's nowhere near
right?
that stuff.
So what is it? What are we, because Netflix doesn't seem to care if this is more of kind of a carnival or an exhibition, or if it's like the greatest, biggest fight in the world. What they're looking for are eyeballs, right? Where does this fall? Mayweather and Pacquiao on the most legitimate Crawford-Canelo side of the spectrum, or the kind of sideshow Jake Paul, Mike Tyson side?
Gervonta Davis believes a proposed fight between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao is mainly about making money.
What makes you say that?
He need the money.
Does he have a chance to win though?
Tyron ain't playing like that, and they ain't playing like that. So you're gonna see, they ain't playing like that.
Chael Sonnen says the criticism is not necessary
because
everyone works
Floyd
to earn
Mayweather
money.
Jr.
He explains that Floyd Mayweather Jr. still fights because boxing is his profession.
Why do you get up every day and go to work? Why are you going to your job next week? Why will you be at your job the week after that? Because you need the money. What's wrong with that? And why are we attempting to tease Floyd? Is Floyd? Yes, he's broke. Of course he's broke. He's a boxer. Did they say he can't read? That's not to tease him. They say that he can't read. His best friend at the time said that he can't read, and he never denied it. I don't tease him for it. He was a guy who grew up in a boxing gym, right? It's one of these things. You know what you know. You know what you were taught. I didn't teach him about contracts. I didn't teach him about saving. I didn't teach him about investments. Who would have taught him these things? Of course he's broke. He's a gambling addict. He's got baby mamas all over the... What do you mean is he broke? Of course he's broke.
Meanwhile, Manny Pacquiao says a victory would inspire the new generation and show young fighters the importance of determination, discipline, and ambition in professional boxing.
This is a very good inspiration for the young kids. Not only to all the boxers, but also to the people who have dream. Even though I'm 46, if you're still dreaming in your life, you can make it.
Few things resonate more deeply than watching someone defy the odds and triumph. Seconds for many fans, and especially for Filipinos, During the discussion, he explains that a rematch between them would not hurt either fighter's legacy. Both men have already secured their place in boxing history after many years of great performances and big wins. He also reminds listeners that he clearly won the first fight and still looks physically fresh compared to many retired fighters. Because of this, a second fight will be more for entertainment than a moment that defines their careers.
It shouldn't. But if Pacquiao were to beat Floyd in this exhibition or fight or whatever they're going to call it, do you think it shouldn't? But do you think that affects either one of their legacies?
No,
Not at all.
No, that's
we talking about grandfathers.
That's not true. We talking about grandfathers fighting each other. That's what we're talking about.
It's not. It's
Come
not.
on, man.
Wait. I said, it's the zero line. Little bit.
No.
I'm not saying it's a transformative thing, but to say it doesn't affect it at all is probably not right, and I'll tell you why. Because if Pacquiao should win, for example, there will be those who say, well, when Mayweather beat him the first time, they were both past their primes. Certainly Pacquiao, who had been destroyed by Marquez, right, knocked out, was not the world-beating terror. Yeah, and the rotator cuff, but he was a world-beating terror 5 years before that when he was running.
At the same time, he says public opinion could change a little depending on the result. If he loses, some fans might start looking back at the first fight and question the timing of it. Critics may say that both fighters were already past their peak when they first met. Some people might also remember that he had suffered a tough knockout loss before that fight, which they believe affected his momentum. Still, he stresses that boxing history for both champions is already secure. Their achievements across multiple weight divisions cannot be erased by a late-career exhibition-style fight. Even if the result surprises people, their legendary status will remain.
Also, Cotto and Hatton and beating them worse than Floyd was beating them, right? That's when we wanted to see the fight happens 5 years later.
Right, yeah.
So people will point to that and say, and then when they were much older than that, but the first fight wasn't like,
they both was in their prime.
yeah, and neither was it lopsided.
It wasn't lopsided.
Floyd Mayweather won decisively, but he'll even tell you that was one of his trickiest fights.
That's the only reason why I think it shouldn't be a second fight, because to me, Floyd handled him so easy.
But think about what
I know
Max said.
Pacquiao said otherwise.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
visual.
if Pacquiao wins a rematch, because I agree, it's like with an asterisk, but if he does that, it will affect people's thinking a little bit. Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard, it's not nearly the same. They were in their 30s, not their 80s or whatever these guys are in now, but Hearns got Leonard in the rematch, even though it was called a draw, and people look at Hearns a little differently vis-a-vis Sugar Ray Leonard than they did before that fight.
But that was more competitive, I would say. Floyd hasn't fought.
During his analysis, Luke Thomas explains that modern entertainment platforms constantly release a lot of content to keep people watching. Because of this, he says many events can start to feel less special. He believes that is why many people feel nostalgic about the past, when sports and entertainment seem more exciting and memorable. Luke Thomas also admits this is mostly his personal opinion, not based on strong data. While discussing a possible rematch between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao, he says these fights are often driven by business. He explains that companies like Netflix want to enter the live sports market, and a fight between Mayweather and Pacquiao could attract a huge global audience even years after their prime.
As a consequence, everything feels a little dull. I don't know, but there just appears to be a great need among the broader public for nostalgia and for a different time, because that time felt more alive and colorful. I don't have hard data to support this. This is very much an anecdotal observation, but I do think it is true. There is something off generally about modern life that is making the past more palatable than the present. But reason number 3 is the one I actually really want to focus in on. I asked earlier, why is this fight being made? And the answer is, on some level, relatively obvious. As I mentioned, they're broke, blah, blah, blah. But the other one is like, why is Netflix making this? Well, they want to get into the big live event business, and Floyd still has some popularity, Manny still has some popularity, and then together, they might be bigger than the sum of their parts individually.
During his analysis, Thomas also explains how streaming has changed boxing's business. In the past, fans had to pay high pay-per-view prices to watch big fights. For example, the original Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Manny Pacquiao fight in 2015 cost around $100, making it hard for many people to watch. Now, When a fight streams on platforms like Netflix, millions of subscribers can watch without extra cost. Because of this, Luke Thomas believes promoters focus more on big-name fighters than on competitive matchups. He points to fights with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson as examples, which drew huge audiences even though many criticize their quality. He says this shift raises a key question. Are streaming platforms really improving boxing, or just creating events that get attention without the level of competition fans want?
If this fight were on pay-per-view, I don't know if it would get made. I mean, in the end, it might. It might actually get made because these guys need money. There might be enough people who buy it to kind of make it work, or to, at a bare minimum, get an investor to put the money up. They lose their money, but some effort at making it is possible. But that would be a much harder slog. This fight doesn't have that problem. You don't have to pay for pay-per-view. Yes, you have to have a Netflix subscription, but a lot of people do. It's the biggest streaming platform in the world. The incentive structure in place, created by streaming platforms that are just looking for big name value, what will get people to tune in, what is a pairing that is available, just based on contractual availability.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for the next one.